family economically, academically, and emotionally. But if you have a general question, please, and let me say, please ask your court the question, let them answer. If you don't like their answer, you're not going to force them to answer it the way you want them to answer it.
Since we're talking about transparency, let's just be open with the public. Betsy DeVos, the Secretary of Education, appointed by Donald Trump, has a stake at the table. Not only as part of school board member, Mr. Brown. I truly believe that we should go back to all these private school board and neighborhood schools. But we've been talking about charter schools this whole evening, this whole morning. And the reason why is because Betsy DeVos spent $1.6 million on our leadership that she's talking about. And Mr. Plessy, can you please tell the people that you represent Betsy DeVos organization?
Can you get a mic? Betsy DeVos is not part of that organization.
That's not true.
It's not true. Let me say, Betsy DeVos is a founding member of the American Federation of Children. No longer part of the organization.
Thank you.
Thank you. But also, if there are any parents who are here, please, how has this system impacted you and your family academically, emotionally, and economically? I think to the heart of this thing, these folks in the system need to know the emotional impact. So we can wax intellectually and eloquently all we want. But for some of the parents who are here, please let folk know how it's impacted you and your family, economically, emotionally, and academically.
Mr. Thomas, could you read that? Because I don't want to do that.
DeVos has the Alliance for School Choice and the American Federation for Children.
Read on.
Which in turn runs the Louisiana Federation for Children.
Betsy DeVos is no longer affiliated with the American Federation for Children.
Next question.
Now, let me just say though, I am not saying that she was not a good advocate for children, and she has been. The organization has been. Across this country, the organization, and let's take it locally. Locally, American Federation for Children and the objectives that we support, which are school scholarship programs, which are tax credit programs, what those programs have done is to take at least 7,000 kids, low-income kids, out of this mess that we're talking about right now. Absolutely, and I'm very proud of creating, because guess what, when I talk to those parents, and when I see the success stories of some of those kids, when I see the success stories of those kids, and that they now have a future, I'm very proud of that. We can't help everybody at this time, but we can have one child at a time.
This is a very emotional discussion about the most important thing we have, and that's our children. Yes,
On the school board, we had no closing.
Let me say this. We've been living a lie for 13 years. I'm going to give you the 2 years before that. If you all remember, Leslie Jacobs led the effort to overtake our schools. When Leslie Jacobs took our schools before Katrina, there were only 4 failing schools. They changed the passing system from a 64 to an 87. Now, we all went to school. What was an 87 when y'all went to school? It was, oh, thank you. So they changed the grade to an 87, took over all those schools. So when you talk about what's what, and the law says, and I've been looking for it, Senator, there is a revised statute that calls what you all are doing an experiment. And it's illegal because you didn't get the parents' authority, didn't give the parents consent. I will give it to you.
Let's let each other complete our comments. And once again, I say, is there any parents who are here?
Was illegal, didn't have parent consent, parents didn't know anything about it, you don't even have data that you collected on it, number one. Number two, we've not had an amendment to the Constitution that says all these parish schools are not supposed to directly run our schools. The Constitution is the same. Orleans Parish is supposed to directly run our schools just like every other parish in this state. And when you talk about togetherness and stuff, you all wrote that Act 91, and it takes the powers away from our elected school board. So people need to do your homework and stop listening to these lies.
Are there any parents here who can explain how the system and how closing? Is there any parents that currently have kids in the system? How has the system impacted you and your family economically, socially, and academically?
Just by most of them are messing with,
Unfortunately, I don't think the parents whose children attend the family schools are here. Because most of them, there may be a few, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, we have some parents here.
But most of them work 2 and 3 jobs and don't have the resources or the time to advocate for their kids.
And don't know how to fight.
They are the least of us. Their children, the middle class parents and working class parents have a little bit of resources to navigate this complicated system. So we know since 2007 we have been in reform. My baby was in kindergarten in 2007. He is now a junior. 2013-14, we decided all charter was the way to go. I'm not an advocate for charter or against charter. I want great schools. My comment is, we know scores have been stagnated for the last 5 years at a rate of 4 charters a year. How much longer till excellence? And I'm encouraging the OPSB to revise their website and make it more transparent for parents. You talked about policies. Not every parent, your select committee of 10 or 15, not every parent can navigate. So FEMA has a system that allows for comments on policies online. You talked about technology. Let's do that.
Okay.
Revise it and let's do better compliance.
Okay.
You have, and notify parents of this compliance. You have schools that may not be complying with EPA guidelines that parents aren't aware of. You don't know the parents should be taught or told what that rubric looks like for failure, for success, and educated on it like the Better Business
Let's ask that question.
Bureau does.
Is there a process for compliance on the line? Or a rubric or understanding system? Does that exist?
So, several things. So, the first is online where you can get feedback. We do that right now. I agree and I appreciate the comment around the website. Yes, the OPSB website has to be updated. We are launching a new website early 2019. That has been the work for the last few months and is being finalized. Around excellent schools, when will we get there? Again, I shared earlier today, over the next 6 years, you're going to have another shift in accountability, and that's why it's important that we look at the absolute grade as well as the growth grade to see how schools are performing and be able to judge schools based on that information.
Thank you. Our parents. We have a parent, right?
I'm going. I know, I'm coming to you. There's no.
Our parents that are here, we're here until 11:30. We got a half hour left.
Not only am I a parent of children in public schools, all my tutorial children, I am a teacher who has to watch kids go through these tough, critical decisions that the Orleans Parish Board has to make that are called growing pains by Senator DePlessis. I've seen doctors, lawyers, military officers, and all other people make critical, tough decisions with compassion and insight. So one question is, what happened to the insight from the community that says if a charter school is not working, what is the root of that not working, and how can we bring in those supports? Because the answer is not shut it down. Question number 2, given that there are names on documents about Act 91, revised statutes, how can public officials, how do public officials have the, how can y'all just stand up and say to us, who are parents, who are teachers, that you don't know what's an experiment, what's not, when your name's on the document?
That's a great point.
So Act 91. Act 91 is a law, and all these parish school board and as superintendent, just like any other law, whether state or federal, we have to follow it. And that's what we do here in the school district. But even could be going beyond law. As we talk about high quality school options, and every single year when we do our enrollment, there's a handful of schools, about 10, that everybody wants their children to go to. Whether they are at a lower performance school or C school or what have you, we're trying to get our kids at certain schools. So what that says is that we need to get high quality options, more options for our families. And again, that's why as superintendent, I work to take those high performance schools and work with those organizations to expand either at their current site and take more kids, or open another campus, just as the example I did with Audubon, and not Audubon Gentile.
So one of the things that we all know about our high quality schools is a lot of them are selective admission. Yeah. And a lot of the children we're talking about, the schools that are closing, would not be able to access those schools anyway. And even when we talk about Audubon Charter has a pre-K program that's for pay that you are more likely to get into if you pay for your child to go to that pre-K program. So 87% of our children are free and reduced lunch. So let's X them out of Audubon. So go ahead and put the big X on it. That 87%. And when we talk about this priority list to get in these schools, I'm confused, and I almost want to ask a question because we're closing 4 schools. We already know we only have a handful of successful schools. In that handful, half of them are selective admissions. There is no high quality school for children with special needs. So where exactly are our children supposed to go? What are they getting priority to? Because it seems like they get priority to DNF schools. And so that's the question I would even ask the parents to ask. Like, how many children are on this priority list, and how many seats are there in first, second, third, fourth? So like, y'all need to ask that question. I don't know the answer, but ask it.
You explain your choices to her.
I really don't. So I'm good. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, baby.
Good morning, everybody. So one of my questions was already asked. I don't know what my question was. So thank you for that. The other thing is that, yes, I'm a mama of 2 kids. I'm also a community activist. I've been since I was 19 in terms of education, and I've also been an educator in this school system as well as the Atlanta school system. Ms. Duplessis, I don't know, y'all couldn't pick y'all the lineup. Are you an educator? No. Okay.
Nope.
So a lot of our challenges come from that. I want to comment on something that a remark that you made. And just say, I'm going to say this stuff, I'll point out some things in there. This is not an opportunity for you to continue to defend your ill decisions that you made. It is an opportunity for those wrongs to be made right collectively. We are not to work for them. They work for us. Yes. But we want to compromise. We are not anti the board. We are pro our children. There you go. And that's what I need you to understand. The other piece about the performance, yes, academics is extremely important. However, schools are just not made for academic success. It's also made for social and emotional success. My kids attend a C school, which I know is going to be an F school by the end of this school year. I can damn near bet on that. Because the dynamics of that school has changed, and that's the Asbesto School, Lafayette Academy. And I've had several conversations with leaders in this room. Dr. Henderson, Ariane Pichon, Mr. Brown, and everybody else. So I have no issue with meeting people at the table. I also have no issue with kicking the table over when that needs to happen. And we're at that point. For 12 years, and we know it's going on longer than that, but we have to learn from history. Some people look at OPSB and say there was a disaster, blah, 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 back in the day. I'm one of those people. So I don't want to go back to it, but I want to move forward in this. And that's a problem. That we taking, I'm going to take it from the Bible. We want to make a 40-day trip out of 40 more years. That's ridiculous. It doesn't take that long. These are easy fixes.
Thank you. That's great. Senator Duplessis. Yeah, I'm sorry. And if you confess that, I think that was a good. How do you move forward? If it was right or wrong, how do you move forward? The community and system makers come together to improve it.
First, follow the law.
Listen. First of all, no, I am not an educator. I am a banker, right? But as a banker, I do know what quality of employee I'm going to be looking for when they come out of whatever school system they're in. All right. The other thing is, I have grandchildren.
Back that part up. Say that again. Say that again.
I know the type of quality of student, employee that I'm going to be looking for when they come out of whatever system they're in.
So expound on it.
I'm going to be looking for a well-qualified, educated individual.
And so when that
An
doesn't
individual who is
present
able to think critically, who can be trained, who can learn whatever the task or the skill it is they're applying for.
So when
And who can continue to learn.
So in your interview process, right? And if you're finding some discrepancies with what you're looking for in terms of qualifications, do you ask them, well, what school were you educated in, being as you are now too a part of this system?
It doesn't matter to me.
Because you are, listen, you just said that you authored some of these legislations, right?
You're talking two different things.
I'm not. No,
you know
I'm a bring it full circle for
20
you.
years ago. Wait. Come on, give me a chance. All right, I said real quiet.
Go ahead. We ain't got to do all that. Go ahead.
You don't have to do it all here. So let me just
It's something bad of my sister.
So let me know.
Something bad of my
It's
sister.
whatever you say. But the bottom line is, I too have a stake in the public school system. I have grandchildren that are in the public school system. Excuse me?
Come on, sis, come on.
Excuse me? You need to be a little bit more respectful, miss. So the bottom line is, I have grandchildren who are currently in this system, right? So I have a stake. I have grandchildren who have been in a D school in this system.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I had twins. My set of twins was that in a D school.
I don't have a mic.
Bottom line.
She's supposed to stop.
Excuse me.
That's why we don't get passed when we need to be. That's why this
Are there any people here?
40-year journey because of mentalities like that.
Are there any people here that would like to? Are there any people here that would like to hear the responses and the answers? Raise your hand.
Thank you.
Are there any people here that don't care? You're just gonna say what you want to say anyway. Raise your hand. And we do have some elders here. You don't lose anything by being disrespectful. The law knows I know. No, I'm not. But that's for everybody. I ain't scared. That's for everybody. You don't lose anything by being disrespectful.
Other people talking, she calling me out.
You don't lose anything. No one loses anything. And for our panel, if you just get to your closing and say your comment. But people are not going to. I know, but if people are not going to agree with you, they came here not to agree with you. Next question.
I just want to say this, and I said this, I am a part of the parent advisory committee, and I also am a person that's very vocal and about my disagreement in the way that right now Orleans Parish School Board is handling our schools. And my question is always this: charter schools do not have a proprietary pattern on whatever it is that they're doing good in their schools or doing well. So there is an answer to not closing schools if they're in F. If they're in F, Orleans Parish School Board can step in, run those schools, take the things that you think that the charters are doing.
My next question. Keep going.
Take the things that you think the charters are doing so well and implement them in those schools. It's called replicate. If this is an experiment, let's replicate what we think is doing good in those other schools as a direct run school instead of closing schools and continuing to give outsiders a chance to come in and make money off of the kids, and then when they fail, then walk off with the money and our kids are left again traumatized. This is what I'm saying. One thing about before Katrina,
schools was the place where our children found stability.
Yes.
No matter what was going on in their house, in their home, in their neighborhood, they could go to college. And Miss Charette was there, Mr. Bill was there, Mr. Rounds was there, Mr. Burnett. They had people that knew their grandparents, knew their cousin, knew their sister, and it was a community. Our children are already being traumatized in the streets. They do not need to have to go to school and further be traumatized by no retention in school. There's no teacher. The first thing a student asks a teacher that they fall in love with at school is, are you going to be here next year? Yep. You understand? And then sometimes my nephew, who loved his teacher, went to school after Christmas and her whole room was cleaned out without a goodbye. That hurt him. That's what we're talking about. Let's not make this a tick for tat against each other, because me being against charter schools is not me against Orleans Parish School Board. It's not me against you. It's me being for what is good for our kids.
What that parent board look like?
And the parent board has too many white people on it.
That's the truth.
We got about 16 minutes left. Excuse me now, let's respect the sister. She has a question or comment.
Good morning. My name is Ashanta White. I am the former principal at Edgar P. Horney in Central City. And I say former because I was terminated from my employment for reasons not associated with my ability, not associated with my credentials. I went to a school board meeting and I heard Dr. Wood passionately tell the school board that our schools need qualified, certified individuals. Well, I'm qualified, certified, and unemployed because I had the audacity to stand up for my children and for what was best for them. I think it's so disheartening as a young black leader sitting in a historically black church to watch black women come against each other as if we were in a jungle.
Come on.
It's embarrassing. Yes. I was 2 seconds away from getting up and leaving because that is not what I came here for. I came here because I am still an advocate for the 238 bodies that are on 2503 Willow Street.
Come on,
that nobody else seems to care about. Because if you cared about them, you would have replaced the board that did a disservice to them and not the principal that loves them. I was in that school all of 2 months, and I poured resources into that community and into that school. I fed the man across the street because he has no family. I crossed my children across the street because I don't have a crossing guard. I begged my friends for books because my kids have no books. And you want to tell me that the best way to handle my children is to close their building and give it to someone else. I say the best thing for my children is to reinstate me as their leader and allow me to do the job that I was hired to do on August 24th. Nobody wants to talk about that. I am so disheartened about the way that our schools are going. I am a product of the William J. Fisher Elementary School that comes out of the William J. Fisher Project. My mother was on crack until I was 13, and I ain't never knew my daddy. And at the end of this year, I will be Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. So please don't tell me what possibility is not. Possibility is me. Possibility is me having the possibility and the ability to lead my children. Nobody is standing up for Ashanta. I'm doing it all by myself. Because if you were standing up for me, the solution would be to remove Pastor South Hall out of the school and allow someone else with the children's best interest to run it. Whether that be OPSB, it could be the Sewage and Water Board. I really don't care. Just give my children the ability to be educated in their building. I don't care who sits on the board. My concern is whoever sits on the board has the best interest of children at heart. I am unapologetic and I'm fearless about what is best for my children. And I say mine because it's personal to me. And I think when it becomes personal to everybody else, you will personally give a damn about my children.
That brings us to the last question for the panel. And especially based on the comments that you made. Has there been any consideration or study that shows the impact, the economic impact that non-public schools have on children and communities? Non-public. That's the question. It's non-public. Non-public schools. Their impact. And I guess there would probably be charters, because I think some people are not.
Charters are not public schools. Charters are for profit. Charters are for profit schools. They are not public schools. They are not.
The question may have been worded wrong.
Publicly funded, but
charter schools quasi-public, even though they're supposed to be public. Well, we say they're supposed to be public because we still have schools that are selective admission. We still have schools that don't even post the board meetings, even though they're supposed to, right? So there's open meetings laws. We know a lot of schools don't follow them. The reason that's why people call me quasi-public. We don't get to vote on who the board members are, right? So they get to a point. The board members don't need to be from New Orleans, look like us, sound like us, have ever had children in the system, have children at all, in fact. So I would say it has been what I have seen and experienced, and of course also talking to Bill Quigley, who has much more education than me, about the impact. So we know that they fired all of the teachers, which gutted our middle class.
Public school teachers.
We know that public school teachers, after the storm, we know that started to gut our middle class. We know that all of the employees, we talking about cafeteria workers who possibly had pensions, they were all
public
fired.
School employees.
School employees, all of them were fired, right? So we talk about our black middle class. And then a lot of those teachers, and I know because one of my best friends in the world, Ms. Tamika Morgan, who was working on her PhD as well, was an educator. She had to take a test, and she was already nationally certified to teach in the schools, but because she was a teacher with a master's degree and was nationally certified, most of these schools would not hire her. She was a young black educator who could not get hired at least 3 years after the storm. They did not want to hire people with experience and credentials, so now we have this teacher shortage that we did not have before. It's because they don't want to hire qualified credentialed teachers, because a lot of these charter schools, especially the independent ones, have their own budget, right? So I'm going to get the cheap Teach for America teachers and the Teach NOLA teachers rather than pay for the person who has a PhD or a master's in education that the children actually need. And so that's what's happening. People are deciding what their budget, even like my son goes to Bricklage. Let me call out Bricklage. There was just an incident, y'all saw it on Channel 8, right? Everybody saw it on Channel 8. My son attends that school. So where was the bus monitor? What was she doing? So normally, when I was a child, there was a bus monitor for schools who had buses. Most of us walked to school, let me say that. And we only got on the bus for field trips. But if you did have a bus, there was a bus monitor, somebody that the school hired, some parent or something, who sat on the bus to make sure there were safety issues. Again, with the schools, we call them quasi-private because they don't have to hire these people. And if they do hire them, a lot of times they're not from our communities. So all that to say that, yes, that has had an impact on us. Our economic. We had $87 billion come to the city of New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. The black native population has 18% less wealth. Those are just the numbers.
Okay, so look, please.
Yes. Again, charter schools are public schools, and even some of the things that you just mentioned around open meetings law or violations that schools.
The question was actually worded wrong. That's why I changed a lot of the questions and asked them my way. I just wanted to pay closer attention to that.
And then even as we talk about some of our public schools that are chartered today that was selective admission, again, let me just be clear. I know there's different opinions about selective admission schools, but I stand as a superintendent who believe that any system, any parish should have a variety of schools. And so those selective admission schools that we have, they may not be in a common enrollment cycle, but that's going to be coming because of their contract. But at the same time, again, those are public schools. If a school is having a violation, before you had RSD and OPSB, today it's all under OPSB, and I can say that our portfolio office and my administration, when there's a violation and things that are brought to our attention, we investigate those things immediately. That's not just something that we're doing today. That's just how we operate as an organization.
Can you hire and fire them? Can you hire and fire them if they do something wrong?
We do post violations, and they also share at the public meetings that we have. Thank you.
Can you hire and fire them? If that's a violation, Superintendent, can you fire them?
First of all, before Pastor Harvey comes up and does prayer, for everyone who's here, man, thank you for this. First of all, let me see if I can add why this is important. The data center says that kids post-Katrina are worse off economically than they were before Katrina. The Brookings Institute said that the last 7 years have been a bigger struggle for our community in terms of cost of living than ever before. Housing advocates say that 7 out of 10 people who work in the tourism industry can't even afford to have a place to live. Now, why is that important? under the context of especially the economic indicators for New Orleans, the next 2 years are going to be real special economically in terms of job creation and wealth creation. The Sewage and Water Board has almost $2.4 billion. The tourism projections through 2025 in terms of occupancy and money generated are better than they have ever been. Now, if we don't prepare our children to participate in a billion-dollar economy, whereas only a few people are going to be thriving, then guess what's going to happen? Crime, we're going to continue to be on that roller coaster in terms of crime. We're going to continue to push people outside of the core of the city. So whatever side you're on, this is one of the most important discussions we can have. And at some point, I think it gets to what Touré said. No matter where you are in this discussion, we have to find a way to work together so that our children aren't left out of what's coming economically and socially. Pastor Harvey.
Yes. The pastor needs to pray.